This is a special podcast presentation from 700WLW.com. This is Casey Boland On Demand.
Casey Boland's our money man around here. And when it comes to savings, it appears that a lot of Americans, Casey, cannot afford to cover some pretty basic and unexpected expenses, correct?
Yeah, about 60% of Americans have little to no emergency savings in place. You need to have about 6 months of expenses in place. Here's a surprise. The demographic that's most likely to have an emergency reserve, 18 to 30-year-olds.
Well, I guess if you're living in mom's basement, your expenses are kind of low.
So you can build a reserve. So nice job, but the emergency reserve, for some reason, it doesn't seem to last, is the most unlikely age group to have it, 30 to 49-year-olds.
But isn't 6 months a lot for almost anyone to have in reserve?
It really is, but you have to start somewhere. And I'm still surprised there's 60% of Americans who really, in a sense, are living paycheck to paycheck. But if you lose your job, if you are a couple paychecks away from missing from disaster, I can't imagine what the stress level must be.
Yeah, I think you look at some of the people who might be on the bubble at Omnicare, and right now they're looking back at places where they probably could have saved some money over the course of the past year or two.
That's right. And so when you look at how do I build an emergency reserve, first you have to understand, what are my fixed expenses and what are my discretionary expenses. As fixed expenses, you have to think of that kind of like your operating budget, but what can you cut back? What are those fun expenses eating out? And if somebody in the household did lose a job, could child care be greatly reduced? So understand that makeup, and then you start building it. Maybe it's $500 to $1,000 at a time.
So 6 months is the target, but 3 months would help.
Yeah, it would be a considerable help, and it will take time. It may take several years to build it up. It will be well worth it. The peace of mind factor alone is huge, but the key, automate the savings to build up the reserves. Put your family in a position to be able to weather the loss of a paycheck.
Okay, Casey Boland, thank you so much. From Hanghold Capital Management, it's almost 5 away from 9 o'clock. Let you know what Sloaney has coming up, 700 WL.